Hey, I'm Dan,
I'm Ted.
and we're here with this month's special guest, one of the most fun artists I've ever got to meet, Todd Cirillo. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how you making out?
Oh, yeah. It's yeah, September, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now we go into the cooler months. Well, we're gearing up for it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Todd, where are you from?
New Orleans, New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah.
That's
How about you?
yeah.
What about you?
Actually, I was born in Indiana and grew up in Illinois and lived in like four other states in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
now I live in a camper, and I try to like spend as much time somewhere else as I can.
It's a real camper?
Yeah, it's a 23 foot, it's like 172 square foot, 20-year-old mobile, 25-year-old mobile home.
Amazing. All right. Yeah, all
Yeah, this
right.
is like it's the DIY hippie starving artist, man. And, I have Pentecostal families. And this is not about me today, right? I have family upbringing, and I was adopted. And so I went to community college for 2 semesters. And one of my best friends came out of the closet. And in 1996 in Mattoon, Illinois, we decided to start a gay and lesbian support group.
Yeah.
We got protested by like the whole town showed up, it seemed like. And my parents like publicly disowned me. So I've kind of been rootless and I had kids in Ohio, but yeah. So
Incredible. Yeah, the Pentecostals, they they take their gibberish seriously.
that's yes, they do.
That's actually, yeah, the Pentecostals and the Baptists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now that you said that, I think I have a hard time with anybody that takes anything that serious. Whether it's like people that worship Bob Dylan or Bukowski or Drake, like they make these people like godlike or something, and or
Yeah,
like they're not serious about it.
yeah, it's too much and it doesn't leave room for actually fun conversation.
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't. Like I, I, I'm always gravitated towards artists that feel more human. I guess if that makes sense, and I like to view my artists as being people because for me being an artist myself, that makes it more attainable, I guess.
yeah.
Which I guess is why punk excited me so much because it was like, oh, I could actually do this.
Oh yeah, one of my the great Kerry Floyd, one of my best friends. He's going to see the Circle Jerks next week.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. Is he going to Keith's 70th birthday party? Is that what it is? That's coming up.
Yeah, whatever it is, he's going like next week. Yeah. So
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. I actually wrote a review of Keith's memoir a couple of years back and I felt like such a fanboy. I actually like sent him a message on Facebook like, is it okay if I write a review of your book, please? And he was totally cool and I had a lot of fun with that. But that yeah, that's cool.
So Todd has been not only a longtime poet, and when I say long time, I mean like a well-known kind of veteran of the underground for 2 or 3 decades. And so he's been a well-known poet, traveled the country doing poetry in some of the most wild, fun places, and is also a co-founder and small press publisher. So
yeah,
just a,
yeah, 6 foot Swells Press. Yeah.
yeah. So let me ask you a question. Six
Yes.
foot Swells Press. I know.
Yes.
So I read the book.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the new one. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there's an anniversary book. Tell us about the 20-year anniversary book first.
Well, I didn't realize it was the 20th anniversary until Julie said something earlier this year. So then we started bouncing ideas and said, well, you know, one, I am very sentimental. Two, I love like ritual and things like that. And so what we decided to do was one, put out a new book by another poet in the world. So we did Jake St. John's book, The 13th Round, and we released that in the spring. So then we said, well, it also occurred to us that, like, myself and the other co-founders, Julie Valin out of California and Matt Amott out of Portland, that we had never done a book together. And so we said, okay, well, let's, we'll just put something together, something fun. But then it became, well, let's all include not only essays from our twisted perspective of how the press and everything started way back when, but also photographs as well, along with new poems. And then, so that'd be the second, that was just released last weekend. And then October 10th, we're actually releasing an anthology of the 20 years. This is actually the proof. I just got it today. It's called From the Top Shelf, a 6-foot Swells anthology, and it includes 20 writers, and it's 180 pages. But we've been fortunate to publish people for their very first time ever getting published to internationally known writers such as A.D. Winans and Kim Adenizio. For one of our books, Gary Snyder gave us a wonderful foreword. And so we're doing three things, and then a big event in California and whatnot later. But yeah, but three poets walking to a bar was just to really just have a good time with it. And that's how we started the press, and that's how we're continuing with the press. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And all of we share a similar poetic philosophy of, if the poet has to explain their poem to the audience, then the poet has failed. And we've always believed that ever since the very, very first, get together that we'd have. And we've had lots of events over the years, but the three of us have not been together. A few years ago, I produced an event here, Poets with Drinks, that I do sort of on the regular, once every other year. And I brought in Matt, and I brought in Julie, and a couple other, William Taylor Jr., Billiam was here. And, that was the last time that we got to read with one another. But in California, we haven't been together in well over a decade. Yeah. So it's going to be a good weekend. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when is that event in California? You know yet? I have a date?
October 10th. Yeah, it's October 10th. Yeah. So it's going to be celebrating the two books. Yeah. Three poets walk into a bar, and From the Top Shelf, the anthology. So yeah.
You covered kind of two of the things I quickly noticed with that book. I love those black and white Polaroid photos. Like that's it adds a lot to the book. It adds a lot of fun to the book.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree and like that philosophy. If I've got to explain my poetry, that I failed. That's not been,
Yeah, it doesn't get me invited into MFA programs and whatnot, but it resonates with the right people.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
I'm great friends with people who have gotten MFAs, and that's their choice, and their the steps that they're walking in and all that. And on the down low, a lot of them roll up to get something like this,
Right.
So that I always take that as a compliment too, and I tend to think that the ones who have not lost their initial sort of interest or flame about writing have not lost the ability to recognize good writing, no matter, it doesn't have to come from a class or a workshop or anything like that.
Yeah.
I tell you,
I got a couple of MFAs that are kind of mentors to me, but they come from a blue collar background, like family life, and then went to college and became professors. And I've noticed that those are the MFAs that I really dig. The ones that kind of know what the common man, they know a good story, they know good art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that made me feel like I was on the right path was I read a poem to a friend of mine in high school, and I asked them what they thought, and they said, "That sounds like you." And I was like, all right. I'm on to something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like there's classical composers that have also complemented like Nine Inch Nails, like Trent Reznor, right? And they recognize, okay, come from different places, but this is a classic piece of work or whatever might be.
Yeah, yeah. I've had those teachers that were the opposite, and like I had a music teacher in middle school that like if it wasn't classical or jazz, it was noise. He would tell you to bring in your favorite piece of music, and then he would just like pick it apart, and it's like that's not reaching kids. Meet them on their level.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Todd, in addition to being the co-founder and editor of
Yeah.
6 Foot Swells Press, so
Yeah.
6 Foot Swells Press, where does that name come from?
The name comes from when Julie and I sat down. We're in a bar, and we decided we wanted to, take on a new project, and so that's where the press came out because we saw the different possibilities with it, and also it was, writers who we really dug their work. We wanted to be able to offer, publish them and whatnot. We don't take unsolicited manuscripts. We still don't. And But we needed the name, and so Matt used to put out these little staple do-it-yourself. Uh, they were just like little chapbooks that he would staple, and they were full of his drawings and some poems, and he would leave them around town, like everywhere, all around town. I think grocery stores and ex-girlfriends and coffee shops and bars and whatnot. But on it, it had 6 foot swells. It had that phrase, and so that has always resonated with me. And so then we brought him to the bar and put out the idea: can we use this phrase that he had, because it's also his email address, and so that's where 6 foot swells was born. Because we've always referred to ourselves as poets, publishers, and pirates, and so
I was going to ask,
all worked. Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah,
does the pirate come in?
yeah.
Where,
Because I'm a pirate and I always have been, and I would consider them my shipmates, and I'm not, so they must be pirates in some way, shape, or form. But I always have been, and from my gold tooth to my tattoo, and sometimes we just have a feeling of what was or what could have been, and maybe we weren't born for these times or something, you know.
oh yeah, that was the first thing I remember reading about you when I first heard your name. Probably, fuck, I don't know, 10 or 11 years ago. The first thing I remember reading was a pirate. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck's a pirate poet, you know? And I was immediately interested. I was like, one of these days, I got to meet this guy, you know?
Yeah, you got to have a sense of adventure. You have to have a sense for, again, I think pirates can be very sentimental or superstitious, and I think they kind of go hand in hand. But also, you have to have a love for uh, life and the adventure. But also, I think that it's having a keen eye, right? Because you always want to make it to some shore, so you have to be able to see where that is. And I think that's very similar to how you can write poems, right? You can see it, but you got to figure out how to get there to get a good, little poem.
So, in addition to the publishing, you've obviously written poetry for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This will be my seventh book. Yeah,
Okay.
seventh book, and then I've produced different festivals and events and whatnot as well, and I've hosted, you know, lots of poetry series and whatnot. Yeah.
What got you to start writing poems?
Uh, Broken heart. No other outlet. It was sort of like that scene from Alien, right? So something's got to get out, and I loved her that day, and I still love her today, and that's how I wrote the first poem. I was a teenager, and then mercifully, I had teachers and then professors who began to look at what I was writing and sort of offered me not only the importance of revising and how poetry was a craft, but they began to also provide me with the inspirations of, you know, Kerouac and then our dear, Hunter, uh, and beyond, right? Gregory Corso, Lou Welch, things like that. And so yeah, that's how it started. Again, yeah, it just started because I was in love then. I'm still in love. So everything I write's a love poem, for good or ill, one of the two.
Yeah, I've often said that nothing brings out the poet in a person quite like getting your heart broken for that first time. Like there's, and it was that for me too. Like, and I still have that poem somewhere, um, because something in me told me that it was important. You
Yeah,
know, I just didn't know why at the time. I didn't know that I would write, more pieces after that. But it was like you said, it was like it felt like it had to come out somehow.
yeah.
And
I prefer the falling in love side of it now. Like I like to write that. That's much better.
yes, yes.
Yeah. I speaking of, I love that in your poetry. And there are like you've got a knack for like being sentimental and like in love with every one of your lovers. You're like in love with. You know what I'm saying? You can read it in the poetry, and you like frequent dive bars. All of your poems are in dive bars and jukeboxes and cheap beer cans. And I think that you've got that kind of dive bar, poetry spirit, but you have that in a more tender way than Bukowski did, and like a
Mhm.
more fun way and a more like tender way.
Yeah, it was because in Kisses from a Straight Razor, one of my books, my friend Neely Tchaikovsky wrote a nice little forward. There it is. Yeah, to it as well. But you know what? In one review, it was William Taylor Jr. And William is great, and I love every time he comes to New Orleans. And but he had a great thing. He said, Todd is in love with love. I've always liked that one.
What a great thing to be in love with, though.
I
Uh,
know, right? Yeah, it could be worse. Yeah.
so let me ask you this real quick before we have you read a couple poems.
Right.
In all of the places you've been and you've drank in and read poetry in and uh, committed pirate behavior in,
Yeah.
some of your top two or three favorite dive bars.
Well, most are right here in New Orleans. There's Harry's Corner Bar, where Live and Let Die was the first 3 minutes are filmed right in front of Harry's Corner Dive Bar here that I go to. Boondock Saint, that's here. There used to be a really good one in California, but it was in a place called Cayucas, but I don't know if it's still there or not. You know, uh, if you're in a good place, they've got a good dive bar. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, would you read us a couple poems?
Sure, of course. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so here we go. Um, am I the only one hanging on? She is in the middle of the country, writing poems about the splitting, the separating, and farmers' fields burning. While I am here in New Orleans, still writing love poems while everything sinks around me. That one. Because I caught y'all's other podcasts, and so you're music lovers. So this one will be for y'all. Lukenbach, Texas. I have reached the point of becoming a goddamn country music cliche. I sit alone in a dirty bar in ripped jeans, trucker hat, light wallet, surrounded by old torn posters, a faded chalkboard, blinking half neons, and a dusty bottle of root beer schnapps not touched since '78. With busted dreams, drinking cheap beer and strong shots, listening to Waylon Jennings sing about Willie and the boys, and I know all the words. These kinds of situations make a person reflective, and I realize that my life contains the classic elements: wrecked trucks by love's long loss, stranded in the rain without bus fare home, thrown in jail 3 times for things I was completely guilty of. Been cheated out of my money and my heart, left for other men, and if I'm being honest, the occasional woman too. Had all the light bulbs in my house methodically busted out one by one by one. Had a goddamn shotgun pointed in my face, and when she said it was loaded, I took her word for it. But I don't ride horses. I don't wear a giant bucking Bronco belt buckle or even own a dog. Yet here I sit at the far end of the bar with an open tab, living it up right in the next chorus. Just me, Waylon, Willie, and the boys.
I like that poem.
Thank you. Yeah.
Tell us your website.
ToddCirillo.com. Yeah.
ToddCirillo.com. What books should people be interested in buying of yours?
Disposable Darlings, the new one. Yeah, that was Disposable Darlings. That one there. 3 Poets Walk into a Bar, Burning the Evidence, you name it. Just go to ToddCirillo.com and they're all there. Yeah.
All right. And this is, I wanted to ask you. So I lived 20 years in Toledo as a poet. And in November, there's a literary festival coming to Toledo, and you're going to be one of the featured readers. Are you excited about Toledo?
I am excited about the Underground Lit Fest. Yes, indeed. I am looking forward to it because there's a large portion of some of the people that are going to be there that I'm going to meet for the first time. Some that I'm old friends with, but I like the idea because I get the feeling that it's going to be like rusted metal for poetry in a way. Like something really sturdy and a hell of a good time, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah,
I mean, this is like right smack dab pretty much in the middle of the Rust Belt.
yeah, cannot wait. And Michelle McDaniel, cannot wait to actually meet her in person as well. And yeah, I mean, I like the idea that it's in a record shop, right?
Oh yeah, it's in my favorite record store in the world, Culture Clash Records.
Yeah, cannot wait. I mean, that's going to be awesome. As long as you got to have a music stand, right? Well, I'll be there. I'll be there. Just make sure it's not cold.
It's November, man. It's unpredictable in November. Eventually, when I get my shit together enough, I'm going to hopefully leave Ohio in October and go somewhere warm and not come back till April. That's my dream.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I've dealt with the winter too much, man.
Yeah, you should become like a campground host at a national park or something for the.
I just don't play that well with others, man. Yeah.
Just make sure it's somewhere way out.
So, ironically, my best offer at that, I've got a friend whose sister, an artist friend in Toledo, her sister owns like 30 acres way up north in the upper peninsula of Michigan, where it's pretty much the fucking tundra.
Yeah.
Like, you can put your camper here. I'll pay for your electric, and I'll give you like $200 a week to help me like take care of this property. I'm like, nah, I would rather shoot myself, like, and then live there. No offense, it's beautiful up there in the summer.
Right. Yeah.
That's where Isla's dad is from, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, he's from the upper peninsula.
It's
I've heard.
I go in the summer.
Yeah,
you're right. That's what I told him. It was like, you ever want to go up there and visit? And I'm like, not during the wintertime.
It ever snow in New Orleans?
It did this last January.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time in like 125 years. We got 11 inches, and the whole city was shut down for 4 days straight.
Wow.
Completely. Some bars were still open, but yeah, it was horrible. It was, everybody appreciated it for about 6 hours. And then when they realized, because I used to also live in the mountains of California too, in Colorado. I've lived in Colorado for a bit, But yeah, yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Is this where you're at?
go ahead.
No, Ted, does this know where you're at?
It's like an every couple of years kind of thing. Like we got some snow this last winter, but it's like I think like the last really major snowstorm we had was a good decade or and some change ago. But where I live, like if two flurries fall from the sky, that's it. The city is shut down. They'll shut down the interstate. It's crazy. Like we're not prepared for it when it does hit. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. Me either.
Dan,
I've lived my whole life.
Dan, what are you looking forward to for the Underground Lit Fest?
I think two things. I'm most excited about getting to meet uh I got to meet you, I've met Bill Gaynor, some of these iconic poets that I've like kind of crossed off the list over the years, and William Taylor Jr. Like he's probably the most when I ask people like who's the best poet in the underground, he's maybe the name I hear the most. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to meeting him and hearing him read and meeting all these other amazing poets for the first time. But secondly, I'm really excited to like kind of show off my city, man. Toledo is like a really good place to be an artist because historically the cheap cost of living has been cheap, you
Uh,
know, and so
uh,
there's really like an iconic like underground kind of art scene here that doesn't get a lot of attention. It doesn't get enough attention.
all right.
By the way, it's home of the great jazz pianist Art Tatum. He's from Toledo.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, speaking of New Orleans and jazz, but so yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking forward to showing off my record shop, my favorite record store, people that have been good to me. The Switchboard's an amazing bar. There's a Switchboard where we're going to be at on Friday night and get beers from and stuff on what's the next Saturday. They're the only bar I've seen in the Ohio for sure that has a little art gallery. Like
All right.
how cool
Yeah.
is that?
Very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. We published one of William's books. Pretty things to say. So that was a highlight. And like I said, I've had him come out here, quite a few times since 2019 is when we first read together, and I think we've read almost every year or so since then. Yeah, at
Oh yeah.
least something. Yeah, yeah, he's great.
Ted, we got to get you out to something like this.
Yeah, I've been itching to get out of here. I think that's been like my biggest problem here lately is I've been in North Carolina for too long. So like some kind of adventure, something. It's like, gosh, we haven't had like a real vacation since before the pandemic. I mean, it was like the pandemic hit, and then she got sick, and then just everything kind of went downhill for a while. But yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I'll be in a position where I can actually make the trip. Uh, here in the next year, maybe a year or two.
All right, we got like 20 seconds, Todd. Give me
Uh,
the best advice to a young poet that you can give.
get it out on the railroad tracks and put yourself in a position that you can write, but you can also take stuff in so you can write. Yeah, yeah. Get out there.
Be sure to check out the full episode on the YouTube channel, Just Another Way to Waste 60 Minutes.